Hi, I'm Josanna Calendar, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck picture book and educational program. Well, today we have been, I've been thinking about our topic of resiliency. And as we have been looking at some of these same kinds of traits, but not exactly this one in particular, we've been trying to find ways to build a powerful mindset in our children. And as I look at resiliency, this is what I see as a spirit, a resilient spirit or a resilient mindset is something that I believe is so important in these swiftly changing times that we've seen these last few months. But this conversation goes beyond the fears or thoughts that we might have regarding the COVID quarantines or any other thing that's taken our imaginations to another level and to new heights. Resiliency is the ability to turn fears and anxieties and difficulties around and to face our futures with courage. Now, this is something that I actually saw in my parents and my grandparents. Perhaps you have seen in your relatives as well. But they faced many tough times. And as I reflected back, the only way they made it through was by developing some of these mindset muscles, as I like to call them. And these are the traits we're going to be looking at the next couple of conversations. Well, today, the first trait is mentioned in an article that listed 8 of these traits by Elizabeth Scott called Why Emotional Resilience is a Trait You Can Develop. And this article caught my eye because we had had previous conversations based on Paul Stotz's article, The Adversity Quotient. So I just thought this would be a great conversation to look at these traits at this time to see how we can strengthen each of these traits within us. And this is not only for us, but it's also for the children that we teach and nurture. So, the first trait is emotional awareness. Now, we've discussed how interoception is one of the 3 hidden senses, along with proprioception and vestibular senses. And the reason why they're hidden senses, not one of the 5 senses, is because the controlling factor of these senses are within our minds. It's different parts of the brain. And it controls how we feel and see the exterior world with the and how we can manage that interiorly. So exteroception is the perception of the exterior world, and interoception is how we manage those thoughts within. And there's a lot of process involved in this, but we're going to move on to the main part of the process, which is the insula. And now I found that the insula is going to be probably mentioned several times during this basic talk about resiliency because it is the switch that takes us from the different thought patterns that we might have from thinking, cognition, to the default mode network, which is just our steady state of resting state of our brain, to the salience network, which is that fight or flight network that actually gets us going when we take on new goals. It's what gets us up out of the chair and, oh, I've got to do that thing. So that's what the salience network does. And each one of these portions of the brain are coordinated by the insula. It's the switch that takes us from one state of being to the other, or mind to the other. And I found out that the reason why this is such an important part of the brain is that it's nestled really deeply within a crevice that's between different sections of the brain, prefrontal. There's, I think, the anterior. I believe it's the I can't the cognate. I'll cingulate cognate. I'll look it up, but it's well, I found out that it's in one article said that it's the under um, not much is known about the insula. It was discovered like in the 1700s, and then it took until like 1994 when another scientist started looking at it and found that how many different processes and thoughts are coordinated by this one little piece of our brain. But as we learned in our previous talks, the insula can be strengthened through mindfulness training. And this is meditation, mind body activities like Tai Chi and yoga. But the whole reason for strengthening that inner part of our brain is to help make those connections stronger between our thoughts and our emotions. Because as we become more in touch with our own thoughts and emotions, we're able to grasp and understand the feelings of others. So the insula and a very important part of the emotional awareness trait, which is part of resiliency. And as I call it, EA, it helps us cope with life's ups and downs. It regulates our emotions as well as helps us to respond to the feelings of others. So that's why I also called it the foundation of social emotional learning. So I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe and please share. And tomorrow we'll talk about another trait unless I am able to get my little side project together. But I'll tell you more about that at that time. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye bye.